So I'm here at RSA 2024 with Richard Bird from Traceable. Hi, Richard. What's Traceable and what's it do?
Well, Traceable is an API security platform. We focus on not just things like AppSec or the edge and WAF traffic, but all APIs everywhere. So internal APIs, third party, monetized, commercial. The world is being driven by APIs in layer 7 these days. And we provide the most extensive package for being able to manage security, monitoring, and control across all of those APIs.
Wow, that's really, really interesting because we work in data security, and often I'm hearing a lot at the show here, people saying controlling and protecting data and protecting stuff is so difficult and hard, or it's perceived as being hard. So what are some of the reasons do you think that is? Because surely this should be simple, right?
Right. Well, I think the reasons are the digital estate has just been allowed to grow exponentially without a lot of controls in specific areas. And we see this stuff happen over time. Like I tell people all the time, like I'm old. I've been around, this is 30 years in technology for me this year. And I used to be able to walk into a data center and say, how many firewall rules do you have? And the engineers would go, I don't know, you put it in order, I get a firewall rule, right? How many VMs do you have? Like now it's how many APIs do you have? And people don't know. And when we look at it from a data loss prevention standpoint, one of the things that we see frequently is now substantial payloads with critical information and confidential information is being carried. And so even things like data privacy and data protection are at risk in this layer 7. But the organization of security solutions today is really just now coming together to capitalize on each other's synergies, and instead of being hyper competitive with each other. We realize there's no single solution for everything. So now we're starting to see really interesting partnerships across a number of different companies on how they're managing that digital estate that's gotten out of control. And I think that's why it's complicated. We just allowed everybody else to go build technology, developers, and all of those types of resources, but they didn't have really good security control guidance. Now we're trying to put all that toothpaste back in the tube.
Absolutely. And it's interesting you mentioned security control guidance because there's been a lot of talk around frameworks, and in a lot of ways, frameworks, regardless of what they are, whether it's security frameworks or frameworks around living, a way in which we kind of understand and categorize the world in which we see.
Right.
So in relation to frameworks, do you have any strong loves of any particular security frameworks, or what are your feelings around those kind of things?
I definitely do, but it's also been a genesis for me, right? Because I come from the old days of I use ISO for my top line domains and NIST for all of my controls, or NIST for my top line. And this hybridization of frameworks was kind of the norm for a very, very long time. In the last couple of years, I've become very, very good friends with a lot of the founders and leaders in the Zero Trust community. And I was a non-believer initially because a large part of my security experience is in identity. And when I heard Zero Trust, I heard lots of friction. And really now I'm recognizing that Zero Trust is simply ensuring that somebody is who they say they are at all times, eliminating persistent and implied trust from your networks, your systems, your data, from your access. And it instantly made sense to me.
Especially in the context of API security, right?
Absolutely. The sad reality is that most frameworks have never addressed the real problem, which is trust once, trust always.
Yes.
And I think Zero Trust is doing a great job. And I think that because you see contention and tension in the market around people even presenting Zero Trust as an option, I think it's a suggestion that we're finally maturing as a security practitioner community to have some good reasoned debates with each other. Like I said, I wasn't a believer initially. Now I'm a fully washed and baptized believer. But I think it takes a lot of time for us to get there. But a lot of times, I think it's important to remember, a lot of times for people that are working on the operator side, which I did for 24 years, if you can't operationalize it, it doesn't exist. And for a lot of companies, operationalizing something like Zero Trust is going to take a substantial amount of work. And I think that's where you start to see the push where people go, I like my framework just fine that aligns to all the spend that I've already done and all the organization I've already created.
Exactly. There's a certain degree of investment bias there that if you've already invested, it's overcoming the inertia of change for a better outcome.
Exactly.
Interesting question for the last one, really. Last year seemed to me to be all about AI. Everyone was AI. Have you seen any ludicrous AI large language model claims on the show floor today, or are we returning to sanity?
Well, I've seen this. So there's this, maybe RSA this year is a year of tension, since I've mentioned that term
Indeed.
multiple times. I think the tension, and I experienced this working in a startup company myself, is the investor market and the public-facing aspects of the market. They want you to come with a story about what you're doing with AI. But if you look at the customer side of the market, are sending out security assessments going, please tell us that you're not doing anything with AI that would endanger our business and our relationship with you. And I think that that's representative of what we're seeing in the market around the very early baby steps with AI. And I think the thing that I see here that frustrates me a bit is you see a lot of people creating AI messaging, and then when you kind of like peel back the cover a little bit and look at it, it's like, oh, you're using open, AI or language, large language models to make your marketing materials better. It's not like you're actually building, AI capabilities directly into your solution.
It's not a neural network.
Right.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of that in current messaging. It'll be interesting to see how it evolves in the next 12 months when we're back here again.
Absolutely, and I certainly hope you'll come again next month, and we can reflect on our conversation of this year.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time. It's been great to chat to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.